Hi guys, got some new Techch batteries to install. We have 3 of their 190 amp hour general purpose batteries. What we're going to do with them is one of them will be used to start the Yamaha 250 show, and the other 2 will be wired in parallel. They will be used to power all of the electronics on the boat. They'll be located in this compartment, and we'll get to that later. The reason why I went with these 3 the same and why they're all general purpose batteries, meaning that you can use them to crank your outboard, is if anything ever went wrong, I could interchange. So it makes it a lot easier when you have the 3 12-volt 190 general purpose batteries are the same in case something goes wrong. Then we have a 36-volt 60 amp hour battery that's going to be used to power the Garmin Force Pro trolling motor. 60 amp hours will be more than plenty for any of the new brushless trolling motors that are out there right now. You should be able to run for hours with that. We'll probably end up adding another 36 volt in parallel later, just for a backup. I'm always, wanting to have a backup plan. All the Techs are Bluetooth. They have all the safety features, everything any other battery manufacturer has. What we'll do first is we'll go ahead and get them unboxed. I'll show you, how they come, how they're packaged. Once we get them pulled out of the boxes, we'll do a quick walk around of the boat. I'll show you where all the electronics are, what electronics that we're going to be powering with these batteries. Then we'll remove the existing batteries. Then we will install the new Techs, and then I'll show you what it looks like after the install. Now let me tell you why I went with Techch. Number one is they are an American company. You can call them if you have an issue, if you have a problem. You actually can talk to somebody. You don't have to send an email. You don't have to, communicate and over 12-hour time difference and wait for days to get responses. That's one thing. Second thing is the warranty. The warranty is the best in the industry that I personally saw. I did a lot of research on a lot of different battery companies, and Techch had the best warranty. Their warranty is 10 years, non-prorated, repair or replace for 10 years. Their exclusions in their warranty, there are none. Now, I'm sure they're not going to cover if you put the battery out and run it over your truck or something like that, but you have to be realistic. But there are no exclusions in their warranty. Another thing, they pay the freight to and from if there's a problem. No questions asked. Another thing, you don't have to worry about transferable. Are the batteries transferable to another owner? Doesn't matter. The battery is warranted, not the person. So if you sell the batteries, or you leave the batteries in your boat and you sell your boat, the new owner has the warranty. The warranty is based off the battery. There is some markings on the battery that lets Techch know when that battery shipped, so that's what they go by. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, I did research on several different battery manufacturers. There was battery manufacturers that had 15 years warranty, as high as that. A lot of them were 11, 10. When you start looking at the warranty, they had a bunch of, exclusions in there. I mean, all kinds. And I understand that, they want to protect themselves if, somebody's neglecting the battery or whatever, but there was a lot of exclusions in their warranty. Another thing, it was prorated. you need to really look if you're going to shop for batteries, because all the warranties that I looked at was prorated. So basically after 4 to 5 years, that battery is really not really warranted, if you ask me, because you only get a discount, and the highest discount I saw was 30% on a new battery after, 4 to 5 years. Another thing, a lot of the battery manufacturers go by the hours on the battery, and it tells you in there, like if that battery is supposed to have 2,000 cycles, you could actually run out of warranty on your hours just by using it too much. So you got to look at that as well. Another thing is freight. A lot of them wouldn't cover freight. They may cover one way and not the other way, or none. Most all of them were non-transferable to the new owner. I think I saw one of the companies that you had to let them know within 30 days if a new owner had the battery, and that would pick up on the new owner. But all the others were non-transferable. There was a company out there, I mean, they got good batteries. I mean, like I said, I'm not knocking down on anybody's product line because I don't know, I've never had them. I can just tell you what I have had. But there's another company that offers a 10-year non-prorated warranty. But there was a lot of exclusions on there. They only paid for shipping one way. I think they paid to bring it to them, and you had to pay to ship the new battery back or the repaired battery. Not for sure on that. It was non-transferable. Don't understand why that is. If you're warrantying the battery should be warranted regardless of who has it. It should be warranted, but that battery was not. So that battery company, their prices was higher and the warranty wasn't as good. And that's why I elected to go with Techch. I mean, they do not have any exclusions on their warranty. It's non-prorated. It doesn't matter who owns it. The shipping's free. So it was a no-brainer for me of why I went with Techch. They have other products. They have battery fans. I mean, it's everything has to do with lithium batteries, but they have a pretty good product line. Here's a Techch LED rechargeable headlamp. I mean, that they have 2,200 lumens. I mean, they have all kinds of stuff. I mean, this is great for, fishermen working on your boat, anything. I mean, man, they got some really nice stuff. And that's why I picked them. Now, the Techch will be replacing the batteries that I have been running for a couple months now. I did a video on it showing the install. It's a Chinese company. They do a lot of social media marketing on Facebook. Pretty big company. And I've been running them now, and I've just had a few issues, mainly with the app. Their app is just basically unusable. It just does not work very well. It's hard to get any information on the batteries. Another problem that I'm having is the two batteries that are wired in parallel. Those seem to give a problem here and there, where one battery will drain more than the other one, or one may not drain at all and the other one drains. I'm not for sure what that is. I believe it's a BMS thing that's, doesn't want to really work in parallel. I'm not sure, but, the batteries have worked. But, I'm the type, I've got to have Bluetooth. I mean, I want to know what my batteries are doing. The app just is just unusable. And I just had to find a replacement. We're going to get them batteries pulled out. I mean, they're still good batteries. I think they would be better used if, you didn't have, if you didn't really worry about the Bluetooth part of it and didn't really care about the app, I'm sure they'd be fine. So we're going to get them pulled out and get rid of those batteries, and then we're going to install our new Miller Techs. All right, let's get these batteries opened up. See what we got. All right, it looks like it's a box in a box. That's pretty good. We'll go ahead and open the inner box. So it's double boxed. So surely nothing's gonna get damaged that way. See what we got here. We got Miller Tech battery starter guide. Got some instructions. Got a user manual in there. Looks like we got a handle. Looks like, and the bolts to for your terminals and caps. I like how that handle looks like it's a removable handle. A lot of companies don't even put handles on their batteries. I'm not for sure why they don't do that, because it wouldn't be that expensive. Styrofoam protected. All right, get that battery pulled off. It's double boxed. This is the 36 volt. Control motor battery. All right, what we'll do, we'll open up one of the 190 amp hour batteries. Get this one opened up. It's double boxed. Same paperwork. Tells about the app. We got the handle, all the stuff, the battery. Let's go ahead and get this one out. Nice looking battery. Bluetooth Sport Series, 12 volt 190, 60 amp hour Bluetooth, 10-year warranty. Looks like there's a serial number on top of it, and I'm sure that's what they go by on the warranty. But we'll go ahead and get the other batteries pulled out, and then we'll do the walk around on the boat. All right, let's start on the stern of the boat and work our way to the bow. I have a set of 10-foot talons and a set of Frantic fishing crappie brakes, self-deploy. Will run off of the starting battery. I have a Garmin LVS 34 transducer mounted on the starboard crappie brake. That way I can deploy them, look around with live forward-facing sonar. If I don't see what I'm looking for, I can retract them without getting out of the driver's seat and going to my next spot. All right, the black box for the LVS 34 is mounted into that compartment. You can see It's right there. I've also got a 24XD GPS puck heading sensor. It's powered by NEMA 2000. That power comes from the dedicated power. I've also have a ping sonar 3-in-1 transducer that I'm testing for AccuFi, and I've got it temporarily mounted there on the side of the jack plate. That's the new wireless use your Apple device sonar system, and it actually has a router. That router is right here. It's a wireless router, and that's actually powered by the dedicated power. All right, I've also have a Starlink system. It is the actual Gen 3, I believe, like the home dish. And all the equipment for it runs off of that dedicated power. We'll go to it here shortly. But that is really good for live streaming, upload, download files, and actually have phone service out on the water. A lot of times you just don't have phone service out on some of these lakes. So I have a Starlink system. On the console, I'm running 2 Garmin 8616s. It's dedicated power. I've running a GoPro camera, and that's a mount where my FX30 Sony camera mounts to. That's dedicated power. Also have a Vexilar flasher that I use quite a bit to search for bait on high speed. I still use a flasher. I still think it's really a good piece of equipment to have in trying to locate bait fish, and that actually runs off of the cranking battery. All right, we're going to move up here to the bow. I've got a electric turret that's mounted on a cornfield crappie deck mount. Well, it's a live scanner, quad scan. And what I use this for is a spare forward-facing sonar when I bring somebody and we want 2 of them. A lot of times I bring my wife and she'll have her own 34 and I've got my own 34. And this is the transducer that I'm also testing for AccuFi. It's the new ping sonar. Works wirelessly with your iPad. I have been testing that for almost, coming up on a year for them, and still doing some work with them. That's the foot pedal for the live scanner. This is also running on the cranking battery. The transducers run off the dedicated power. I have a 8622 and a 8616 up front that we're powering dedicated power. This is the other wireless router for the ping AccuFi forward-facing sonar. It's got its own router, so you can see everything on your iPad or your iPhone. That's running off, of course, dedicated power. I also have a DJI camera that's running off dedicated power, and a HDMI recorder. That's how I get all my footage. Instead of using Active Captain, I'd rather record HDMI off of the Garmin units. It does a whole lot better job and it's more reliable. I've also got a RS1 turret that Revolution Sonar has. I've had it for a good while, but they're just now on the market for sale. I know they sell out as soon as he posts them on his website, but that is a really good unit, and I'll show you that unit here. what this is it's a turret that is separate from the trolling motor. So if you want to fish brush pile or structure and you want to anchor lock, you can spot lock your trolling motor, and then you can move your transducers independent from the trolling motor. It's really slick. It's a really nice unit. And what I'm running on here is an LVS 34, and then for perspective view, I'm running an LVS 62. I also have another HD or a 24XD heading sensor GPS puck. You know, it depends on which units I save waypoints on. I want it to be accurate, so I have one on the bow and one on the stern. All right, we're going to move over here. We've got a brand new Garmin Force Pro. I just installed it. I haven't even had it out on the water yet because I just got it. And this is our Revolution Sonar unit right there. You can see it, how it installs on the unit. It's a really slick unit, and that unit is actually running off of the starting battery. I've also got a remote unit for my 8622. That way, if I don't want touchscreen, I can use the old thumb wheel and all the settings off, just like off the old unit. And I have that on there, and all that is all connected into the dedicated power. And right there is my foot pedals for my forward and reverse and my crappie brakes. Like I said, the crappie brakes run off the starting battery because it's 12 volts. As you can see, I've got a beat down mount. I've been running that for a good while. It's been a really good unit. It's about the only mount that I could trust to put this kind of weight on there, and it's done really well. Okay, here's our starting battery where it's going to be. It's going to be right there. We'll get it removed. There's where all of our electrical connections are. That's going to run off of that starting battery. There's where a 36 12-volt charger is. There's where the 36 volt 60 amp hour battery is going to be. We'll remove that existing battery and install it right there. There's our Raptor pumps. Runs off the starting battery. This is our dedicated electronics. When you crappie fish, man, I can fit everything else in all my other compartments. It was just a whole lot nicer to have a dedicated electronics compartment that I could, you know, easily rewire if I had to add anything or work on things. It just makes it a lot easier. I'll show you what we got here. There's one of the black boxes for one of the LVS 34s. Black box, that's 3 black boxes. We've got the Ethernet ports. I've got everything networked, so I've got to have 2 of those network ports to cover everything. Right there is where our batteries are going to be. We'll pull them out, put our new 190 amp hour batteries in there. And what I have here, that is the router for the Starlink. And this here is my Zoe-Tech, which is for live streaming. That's my live streaming box. So we're powering all this by that batteries. Okay, there is my Strike Lines box where you can get basically TV on your units, I'm using it to get Google Earth live while I'm fishing, and also you can get the Humminbird mapping on your Garmin chart plotter by using this Strike Lines box. And right there is the converter for the Starlink. Since it's a home dish, you have to have a converter for that. Right there is where all the NEMA power is from to power the 24XDs and all the NEMA on the units. I mean, I have got a lot of stuff in here. There's the charger. What I've done here is I've got a heavy marine tinned wire that runs from the stern of the boat where the starting battery is and goes here. So all I have to do if something happens, since all three of the batteries are going to be the same, is I can just take and hook that right up to that battery, and I can start the engine if I want to. Or if I wanted to, I could combine all three of them in parallel, but I don't plan on doing that because two 190 amp hour batteries is going to be more than I need. All right, I'm going to show you how to set these up, get them inside of the app. What I've done first is I went and named them. Went ahead and put a piece of tape on here. All you have to do is go to your app store and click on that. We're going to do Miller Tech. We're going to search. There's Miller Tech. I had downloaded it once, but I'm going to show you again. We'll go ahead and download it. We're going to go ahead and open it. We're going to allow. Okay, right now, that's all the batteries that's in my garage. Now, since I've already set the app up, I've already named everything. All right, so what I did is like I said, I've already got them all in here and already named. But all you do is just hit connect, whichever one it is, and you can go in and rename it. So if I've already selected 36 volt, we can go down here, and that's going to tell us right now what we got. We got 57% battery in there. There's no amps being pulled from it. That's the temperature. That's the volt to the battery. And right here will give you any of your error messages. And if you want to rename it, all you do is you go up here to that, and then you can rename it whatever you want to. And that's all you have to do. I mean, I really like this app. All right, guys, we've got the install completed. I'll show you where the batteries are. We've got the 190 amp hour MillerTech dual purpose battery for our starting battery is over there. Got everything hooked up. And there is our 36 volt, 60 amp hour MillerTech battery for our trolling motor. All right, there's our dedicated electronics power. We've got the two 190 amp hour MillerTechs installed. They're wired in parallel. Got everything ready to go. I'm very happy with the install. Now we just got to get out on the water and try it out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. If you got questions on MillerTech batteries, anything on my install, man, go ahead and ask. I try to get to them as fast as I can. Anyway, thanks for watching.